If you've ever done a crunch after having a baby and noticed any sort of doming or coning, that is not normal and that is not just weakness. There is a name for it and it is fixable. So let me show you. So our linea alba is the tissue that connects our rectus abdominal muscles together. And during pregnancy, 100% of women will have a stretch or widening of the linea alba as they progress into their third trimester. And so diastasis recti is whenever you post baby, or even you don't even, women can have it without even having a baby. Men can get a DR as well. But basically what is happening is that integrity of the tissue and the buoyancy of the tissue has been compromised to where it makes it kind of look like a widened gap. And so a diastasis recti is very common. It is not something normal that you have to live with. There are things that we can do to help bring the abdominals back together and bring and restore that tissue of the linea alba. And so the first thing that I like to do is to check for a DR. And there's a few ways that you can do that. So the first most common way is by laying on your back. And so you're gonna lay on the floor and bend your knees and bring your feet onto the mat or onto the floor. You can bring your hands behind your head and just kind of leave one there. But I want you to go ahead and just take one hand and feel down the center of your abdominal wall, right kind of below the sternum area, and then all the way down to the belly button and all the way down past the belly button, almost to the pubic bone. Now, what you're going to do is go ahead, take a nice deep inhale in, exhale all the air out, and then slowly lift the head and chest up. And then I want you to go ahead and feel down the center again. And what we're looking for is two things. You're looking for the length, the width of the diastasis recti, or the gap. You're looking for, is it 1 finger, 2 finger, 3 finger, 4? That's one measurement that we want to look for. But we also want to look for the depth. So how deep is it going? Does the tissue snap back pretty fast? Or do you feel like you can push your fingers in and they just kind of sink into the skin and the tissue? So those are going to be the two measurements that we look for in a diastasis recti. There's other positions that you can get into to just see. We don't want to just do one. We want to kind of, do a couple of different positions because we move around in our daily lives. So one, you can sit here and just kind of feel up and down, basically from that sternum area again, all the way past the belly button, and just notice, what do you feel? Do you feel like there's any sort of sinking in or any sort of width that is concerning? So that is going to be how we want to assess a diastasis recti. So the biggest thing to note is it happens in pregnancy, but it doesn't mean that it happens to everyone after pregnancy. Some women are able to have the tissue come back together pretty quickly after having the baby, but this is also something that someone can get from lifting heavy weights and not managing their intra-abdominal pressure correctly. Men can get it the same way. So it can be genetic. So there are things that, other factors that can play into this as well. But the first and foremost thing is to just notice whenever you're doing any sort of core stuff. Do you have the doming? Do you have any sort of disconnection in the core? Go ahead, assess yourself. Feel up and down the middle on that linea alba and see if you have any sort of gap or sinking into the tissue. And then my next video is going to go into, if you have a DR, what is the next step? And it is very simple. This is all foundational stuff that you can do straight from your home. So join me for the next video and learn more on how to heal your diastasis recti.